What if I told you France isn't just a country in Europe? It still owns islands across the Caribbean, the Pacific, the Indian Ocean, and even South America. These distant territories give France one of the largest ocean empires on Earth. But why? Why didn't these islands become independent, like so many others? And how does a country smaller than Texas still project its power across almost every ocean? The answer is hidden in history, geography, and a global strategy that most people never see. Most maps show France as a small country in Western Europe, a place famous for Paris, the Eiffel Tower, and French cuisine. But those maps leave out a remarkable part of the story, because France doesn't end at its European borders. Scattered across the globe are islands and territories that legally remain part of France. People living there carry French passports. They vote in French elections. Many use the euro. And in several of these territories, European Union laws still apply. Together, these distant lands stretch France across multiple continents and 11 time zones. In fact, France possesses one of the world's largest exclusive economic zones, covering nearly 11 million square kilometers of ocean. Almost all of it exists because of these overseas territories. That means a country that looks relatively small on the map controls vast areas of the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Indian Ocean. But none of this happened by accident. Every island, every territory, and every distant piece of France has a story. Some were shaped by exploration, others by war, and many remain important today, for reasons far bigger than history. Because these islands aren't just reminders of France's past. They may be the key to its future. To understand why France never let them go, we first need to go back to the age of empires. There was a time when France ruled far more than Europe. Beginning in the 1600s, French explorers crossed the Atlantic, establishing colonies in North America, the Caribbean, Africa, and Asia. Over the centuries, the French Empire became one of the largest in the world. Its ships crossed the oceans, its merchants built trading ports, and its flag appeared on islands thousands of miles from Paris. At its peak, France controlled vast territories across multiple continents, with millions of people living under French rule. But then, the world changed. The 20th century brought two devastating world wars. European empires grew weaker. One by one, colonies around the world began demanding independence. Britain lost India. The Dutch left Indonesia. Belgium left the Congo. Portugal withdrew from Africa. It seemed the age of empires was ending. France faced the same pressure. Many of its colonies fought for independence. Some achieved it peacefully. Others, through long and painful wars. Countries like Vietnam, Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia all became independent. By the late 20th century, most people believed the French Empire had disappeared. But it hadn't. It had simply changed. Instead of trying to keep every colony, France chose a different path. Several territories were given a choice. Rather than becoming independent, many voted to remain part of France. Over time, they became overseas departments, or overseas collectivities, with different levels of local government, while still remaining French territory. Today, people born in places like Réunion, Martinique, or French Guiana are French citizens from birth. They vote in French elections. Many use the euro. And in several territories, European Union laws still apply. Legally, these places are not separate countries. They are part of France itself. At first, That might seem surprising. Why would France keep islands scattered across the globe? The answer becomes clear when you stop looking at the land and start looking at the ocean. International law allows every coastal nation to control a large area of sea surrounding its territory. This is known as an exclusive economic zone, or EEZ. Within these waters, a country has special rights over fishing, natural resources, and energy exploration. Because France owns territories across multiple oceans, its exclusive economic zone stretches to nearly 11 million square kilometers, making it one of the largest in the world. And almost all of it exists because of these overseas territories. That single fact changes everything. Take French Guiana, on the northern coast of South America. It isn't just another overseas territory. It is home to the Guiana Space Center, Europe's main spaceport. From here, European rockets launch satellites into orbit. Its location near the equator gives rockets extra speed from Earth's rotation, allowing them to carry heavier payloads while using less fuel. Without French Guiana, Europe would have far less independent access to space. Then there's New Caledonia, a Pacific island with some of the world's richest nickel reserves. Nickel is a critical material, used in electric vehicle batteries, renewable energy, and modern technology. As demand for clean energy grows, the importance of this island grows with it. Thousands of miles away, Réunion gives France a permanent presence. In the Indian Ocean, Mayotte strengthens its position along one of the world's busiest maritime routes, and French Polynesia extends France's reach deep into the Pacific, where global competition continues to increase. Each territory may seem small when viewed on a map, but together, they form a global network, stretching across some of the world's most strategic waters. They provide access to resources, space exploration, scientific research, international shipping routes, and global influence. Suddenly, these islands no longer look like leftovers from an old empire. They look like one of the smartest geopolitical investments France ever made. Today, France's overseas territories are no longer just pieces of history. They are pieces of global influence. As competition between major powers grows, the Indo-Pacific has become one of the world's most important regions. The United States, China, India, Japan, and Australia are all expanding their presence there. But France doesn't need to arrive. It is already there. Its islands give it military bases, airfields, and ports across multiple oceans. French naval ships regularly patrol these waters. Scientists monitor climate change. Space agencies launch satellites, and cargo ships pass through nearby sea lanes every day. These territories also help protect undersea internet cables, marine resources, and some of the world's busiest shipping routes. In other words, France isn't holding onto these islands because of the past. It is holding onto them because they still matter today. And in a world where geography continues to shape power, their importance may only continue to grow. France's story proves something surprising. Power isn't always measured by the size of a country's land. Sometimes, it's measured by where that land is. A small island can protect a shipping route. A distant territory can launch satellites into space. A forgotten coastline can unlock millions of square kilometers of ocean. And a single flag can extend a nation's influence across the globe. For centuries, these islands helped build the French Empire. Today, they help France remain a global power, not through conquest, but through geography, technology, and strategic location. What many people see as distant leftovers of history have quietly become some of France's
32
greatest modern
seconds into the
advantages.
flight.
Perhaps the biggest lesson from France has nothing to do with France itself. Maps can show us where countries are, but they don't always show us where power really exists. Because in today's world, the most valuable land isn't always the biggest. Sometimes, it's simply in the right place. And perhaps, the next time you look at a world map, you'll realize that the countries shaping our future aren't always the ones that appear the largest. Sometimes, their greatest power is hidden in places the world rarely notices. Thanks for watching Yverse. If this documentary changed the way you see the world, subscribe, because every map has another hidden story waiting to be discovered.